Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boldly Going. It's Merlin here, otherwise known as Joe. Got the Film Fanatics here with me. I got Dan over there.
Hello.
Got Justin over here.
How's it going, everybody?
And today we're going back to the next generation. And what was this episode called again, guys?
Where no one has gone before.
Not to be confused with Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Yeah, at least you guys see that it was kind of a callback to the original series.
Yes.
Did you guys like that?
But there's men and women, so it's Where No One has gone
Which is
before.
why they changed that line in Next Gen and in the last couple movies, you guys might notice, because of possible sexist implications, which is silly.
Let's calm down.
Star Trek sexist? Never.
I don't mind, man. I think inclusive.
It's fine.
It's a little thing. Anyway, but I always thought that was a nice callback, as the title goes. But, Dan, because you're such a Next Gen fan, I want you to synopsize this one, because this one is definitely one that's talked about. I think you can understand why, so I'm curious. You can do it and then lead with your thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, in this episode, there is a mechanic and his assistant that come in to sort of fix something that's going wrong with the Enterprise, and they end up going far, far, far away from where they are supposed to be. I'm not exactly sure how many light years or whatever, but they're far outside of the Milky Way galaxy.
About as Voyager.
And about as far as Voyager is.
Like way out there.
But of course that was in the future, so
yeah.
To this point, no one had gone there.
True.
And so the crew finds themselves really, really far away, trying to get back. Wesley Crusher is very heavily involved in figuring out what to do with this. It's a very heavy Wesley episode. And that's the basic synopsis of what happens.
Yeah.
I would say that overall, this is the first episode that to me has felt like a Next Gen episode. As you know, I'm a fan, but none of the episodes we've watched so far have really showcased what made Next Gen great. And that was, interesting characters and a good story. And this had both. It gives everybody a little bit of something. There were some fantasy elements that I could have done without. Tasha seeing her cat from childhood and other people sort of seeing things. But the special effects I thought were pretty cool. They sort of go into this, exploring mode for a time. Picard isn't quite sure, should we try and get back right away or should we explore? And Data suggests maybe we should explore since no one has been here before. And, we could take pictures and send them back. And then Picard says, send them to who? I thought that was, a good exchange of Data being analytical and everyone else saying, let's get the hell out of here and try and get back to whence we came. So, I don't know. I liked this one a lot. I mean, I know Wesley isn't a fan favorite. I don't mind him as much as... yeah, I mean, I always kind of liked him. Now, Deanna Troi has some lines in this episode. We haven't seen too much from her yet. She's my least favorite.
She gets more to do later.
So,
she was counseling.
I figured as much.
Yeah, and Worf again.
Tossed around.
Does nothing quite yet, but
oh wait, he's here.
Yeah, he has a couple of lines.
He's
but
window dressing.
Still,
it's okay.
Yeah, sort of like, why are you here? But Riker has a couple of good exchanges with the people that are trying to help or whatever, figuring out, is this on purpose or did they accidentally do this? So overall, I actually enjoyed this one. I give it a B.
Nice. Justin?
Yeah,
the Crusher hater.
Yeah, a big Crusher hater.
Well, I'm glad you actually brought that up, Dan, because I'll talk about that a little bit. This is a very, I guess, the way I would describe it is conceptual episode, sort of introduce a scenario, have a lot of different ways to implement it. It's not necessarily trying to focus on like a hardcore theme, but sort of just overall explore a concept. In this regard, we have the mysterious traveler, whose name is quite literally the Traveler. I'm not making that up. Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned look at how clever we can be with our science fiction. But I feel like this is the first time thus far that they just let Wesley be Wesley, not Captain Mary Sue that he usually is. He never stretches his boundaries, and what he comes up with is usually believable instead of Wesley Crusher, boy genius. I'm sure that's going to get much worse later, but for this one, I thought it felt natural. Do I admit some of the gimmicks are a bit weird, but I also think they also fit. I mean, yes, but I think they fit within the confines of it. And unlike the pilot, where it felt like a bunch of like vignettes of bigger stuff they were going to hint at later, this time I thought we got a lot more perspective about the characters.
I think they're starting to define themselves.
A little bit.
You know, now that we're 6 episodes in.
Time for Next Gen to sort of generate its identity, which I think is important. I wish there was a bit more, but take you where you can get it. But overall, I think conceptually, it's a good episode. I think it's probably the best Next Gen episode I've seen.
Oh, I think definitely, yeah.
But for season 1, I think we can all agree that wouldn't take much.
No.
I leave this one with a B as well.
All right. I'm glad you guys liked this one. Actually, when it comes to Wesley, I think that when he gets the chance to be more fleshed out like this in this episode, I think it is a lot better. I think that the writers, generally it's considered they had a tendency to just kind of use him as just an easy fix for a lot of these problems. And that's really all he's there for. And he does have some annoying moments, sure. But it does feel like he's just a kid here, and he's really doing his best. And I've always kind of liked the Traveler character. I thought he was very interesting, and I thought his relationship with Wesley is good. And you guys will be interested to know that he comes back one day.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually, there's a follow-up with Wesley and the Traveler years down the line, which is touched upon. So this episode does have some influence for him. So we get to see kind of a better aspect of Wesley here, which is good. In terms of the ratio of all like the Next Gen episodes, this one isn't like magnificent, but it's a pretty acceptable one. I think I've always enjoyed it. I think it's all right. I leave it with a B- myself.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Why the minus?
Because I've seen a lot of Next Gen, and this is like in my opinion, a good solid episode is just stuff you'll see down the line, and I feel like it. I feel like the more you see of Trek, you'll get to know the established. This is an okay episode. It's decent, but a lot of it's going through the motions. I think a lot of the side characters or a lot of the main characters really don't get quite as much to do as they could. I mean, it's like you guys are seeing the offerings of it, whereas there's much better balance later on.
But I feel like this as well as some of the other episodes are starting to get more into the let's actually introduce the crew instead of focus on like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
Since a lot of those benched Wesley, I don't think I completely hate them, but they it certainly felt like, okay, where are some of the people that I know are iconic, like Worf, who I know you've justified why he's absent, but
well, Geordi's barely in this episode,
and
as well.
Geordi for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we just had a pretty Geordi heavy episode recently.
Well, it's like I said just early on, they haven't really, established these
nobody's
characters as characters,
yet,
because it's not a character-based show yet. It's trying to be a lot like the original series, where it's a couple people doing most of the work and everybody else is in the background. So it's just not. It still hasn't come into its own yet.
I get what you're saying.
Aspects of it. I just think more Trek you see, you'll realize for Next Gen that it's not like cream of the crop by any stretch of the imagination.
And I get what you're saying, but for me, season 1 is, I think we can all agree, rough.
It's garbage. So you can say it.
I didn't want to go that far because I know there's a lot of TNG fans out there.
And a lot of them agree season 1 sucks.
This is definitely the best offering so far, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, last episode was Ferengi, which...
I'll post. Hey,
Ferengi later on gets better, but
I hate
first
it.
introduction of Ferengi, not great.
No, they hate it for a long time.
Not God has problems, but...
But you'll get your fair share of not gods, in all of Trek. So just one to have a problem.
Staple.
It's a staple to have your powerful figure. No, I mean this episode's not bad. I mean it's enjoyable. It's pretty standard stuff. I mean in terms of that, if you want to see fully fleshed out stuff with this concept, I mean Voyager based a whole show on it. So obviously you get to see it explored much more. But I think you get some cool ideas established here for the future. So it's a good benchmark. It's definitely had the right way. But
Effects?
Some of the effects are cool.
I thought the effects were really cool in this episode.
Yeah, some of the effects,
At the one point he opens the door and almost, falls out of the ship. That was cool.
That's like really like the most iconic thing about it. A lot of times you'll see that as like one of the famous Next Gen cuts, like for montages with Picard almost stepping out into space. Is a really cool effect.
Yeah.
No, definitely. That's like kind of when I think of that, that's what this is. And you guys can see the connection.
It's a little gimmicky, but it works.
It's gimmicky, but the Star Trek has its fair share of those. I think we can all agree, right?
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
No, but I'm glad to like this one. It's good to get a decent next gen finally.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's
Finally.
I consider this one to be classic.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
All right, everybody. Well, please comment below. We're actually going to start uploading more of these onto the Film Fanatics channel as well. So if you don't see them on mine, you can see them over here. Please let us know what you think about it, and we'll be going to DS9 again. And yeah, say goodbye, guys.
See you later.
Till the next time.